We interrupt this program to bring you a whole lot of fighting game news. Kia ora there, whānau. It's been a while since I've done a voiceover video giving my general thoughts and impressions on the latest in fighting game news, and I actually wanted to do this much sooner, but the problem was, every time I tried setting something up, something new would come out. Seriously, with Tekken 8, it has been trailer after trailer after trailer. Not to mention at EVO Japan, quite a few YouTubers and pro players got to have some hands-on impression with the game. And then there's all the news of Street Fighter 6, we got some news of SNK with King of Fighters, and then you've got Arc System Works with Grand Blue Fantasy vs Rising. The frickin' list goes on. So, for the past couple of days, as all of this was rolling out, I tried to formulate a plan in my head, and failed miserably by the way, on how to tackle all of this information. So I'm going to start with the games that have the smallest bit of info about them, and then work my way up to what we know the most about thus far. And hopefully I don't fry my brain in the process. So let's get to it. No words. It's too beautiful for words. Okay, I know that's kind of a cop-out, but what can you expect me to say other than, finally, we are getting a new Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. Fun fact, when I was younger, the first one I played was Budokai 2. Then I played Budokai 3, and then jumped back to Budokai 1. And then I sort of fell off and then kind of got back into it with the Raging Blast games on PS3. I'll admit I spent a bit of money on the DLC on that, but hey, it was worth it for a super-powered Super Saiyan 3 Broly. He better be in this new Budokai Tenkaichi, by the way. So yeah, we have no idea if this is a full-on Tenkaichi 4, or if it's a remake, but whatever the case, I'm hyped. Moving on, the next bit of information involves a game I have recently jumped back into, thanks to Ignat Rizzy's 50 different combos in 50 different fighting games, is Skullgirls, and the new character that has been revealed to finally conclude the first season pass for this game is Black Dahlia. Right now she is available, but I have not had the chance to try her, but I am very eager to try her because she does look fun, especially since, you know, woman with a big freaking gun, and she has a whole lot of different elements that she can fire with it. So immediately I am intrigued, so I'm looking forward to playing her once I have the opportunity. And it just amazes me that this game is well over 10 years old now, and it's finally concluding its first season pass, which I wish was the case for a lot of other games as well. But hey, I'm happy to see it happen to Skullgirls, so again, I'm very much looking forward to trying Black Dahlia once I get the opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, I'm happy to see SNK fan favorite character and main poster boy, Terry Bogard, gets another opportunity to shine in Arika's new surprising update for Fighting EX Layer, which came right the fridge magnet out of nowhere. Seriously, what the hell? But anyway, yes, the one thing that definitely intrigued me about this new update for the game is one, it seems to be taking a more 3D approach by giving the characters a sidestep mechanic, and it seems to be completely reworking its offense and defensive system by removing the Gogi system, and instead gives characters an additional 3 bars to do their offense and defense maneuvers with advanced movements, super jumps, instant air guards, and also doing a flurry of attacks with an air combo, and that's all on top of the other typical stuff like characters getting rebalanced, retooled to fit the new system. So again, I'm very excited to see how this plays out, as I do enjoy Fighting EX Layer. By the way, shout out to the bro, the Dark Ace, you're the reason I play this. And then moving on from that, we've got the plethora of information that is SNK, with KOF 15, Samurai Showdown, etc, etc. Now, of course, some of it is news we have heard before, such as Kim Kwon coming back, and of course there's Silver Pala Pala, but for the first time we actually see her in-game model, and I hate to say this, but it actually looks good, which I do not want to say because I do not like that character, but damn it, I have to admit it, she knows how to pull off the look. But the biggest thing involving KOF that I am most excited for is the fact that we are getting a new version of the King of Fighters 13. Weirdly enough, for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Now, a part of me does rationalize this by saying, yeah, I can understand why they would focus on a PS4 version because, well, the PS5 is backwards compatible anyway, so you'll be able to buy that on the PS5, despite the fact it's a PS4 game. So that's good. That'll actually allow them to just limit their workspace on how they can prioritize and optimize the game properly, and I'm hoping it is because the game's gonna get rollback netcode. Though I am curious to know how it's gonna work on Nintendo Switch. That's the only thing that's got me a little bit worried. But hey, a new version of KOF 13. That's awesome, because the only way I've been able to play this is on my Xbox One. I don't like playing it on my Xbox One. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And then, moving on from that, there's the rollback netcode for Samurai Showdown, where that's getting a release date. Thank goodness, because from what I heard, the beta did not go very well. And interestingly enough, we also got a new boss character that's being added to KOF 15 as a free update, very similar to Rugal. And it's Gainitz. That tornado throwing bastard is back. Oh, he's gonna be a pain. And of course, there is the news of a Garo 2 being in the works. Again, the only way I was able to play that was on the Xbox. Recently though, I did get it back on the PlayStation, so that made me happy, so I can play that on the PlayStation to prepare for this new Garo that's gonna be coming out. So yep, there's a whole lot there, and thankfully, with KOF 15, with Kim being back in the game, they actually animated his pants to have proper flow when he kicks. For someone like me who loves fighting game animation, having animations like that are very important. I would show you footage of that, but getting footage for everything else was already nightmare-inducing, so unfortunately, I cannot show it. But trust me, it looks pretty good. Another thing that's pretty good is that Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising is going to be getting a beta for PS5 and PS4. Okay, seriously, what is up with the PlayStation favoritism when it comes to fighting games? Like, I know I just bashed the Xbox earlier when it came to KOF 13, but this is starting to get a little bit ridiculous. I mean, is this a developer thing or a Microsoft thing? Someone please explain. Okay, well, that aside, I'm also very happy to see that the game for Granblue Fantasy overall is getting reworked, like a new graphics update on top of the new balancing and characters. Very similar to what happened back with Killer Instinct on the Xbox, where Season 3 of that game, it got a visual update with its lighting and little touch-ups with the textures. This game is going through something very similar, only it's a lot more. Characters are going to be getting new supers, stages are going to be getting redone, new mechanics added in on top of the big graphical improvement to the game. So that is going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to trying that when it comes out. I mean, how can I not? Granblue is a bloody good game. And if you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's really bloody good. And I'm happy to see that Granblue Rising is also getting rollback netcode. That is really frickin' good. But I have no idea who this Siegfried fella is. But I do know that when Street Fighter 6 comes out over the next 2 months, I'm gonna be maining Zangief and the new character, Marissa. The amount of visual fidelity this game is putting off, it's got me a little bit excited / concerned, because this game is going to be releasing on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. I'm already guessing that the PS5 is going to be the most optimized one, and possibly the best version, whereas the PS4, now, I'm not too worried about how it's going to look graphically, or even how it's going to play overall, but more so how consistent it is going to be with the frames due to everything that is going on. Now, I already know the game is going to look and play well on either system because this game, unlike the recent fighting games that we've seen, which are using Unreal Engine, this one is not using Unreal Engine. Street Fighter V was using it, but nope, as you all know, this one is using the Resident Evil engine, very similar to another Capcom favorite of mine, Devil May Cry 5. You should go play it, by the way. So I'm very much looking forward to Marissa and Zangief specifically, due to the fact those are my favorite type of characters to play in a Street Fighter game, alongside characters like Akuma and especially G. And because of how JP is looking, he seems like he's got a lot of G aspects to him, not just visual design, but also a few things in his gameplay. So I'm also looking forward to playing him as well. As far as the balancing goes, or the gameplay, I'm not the one to speak to about that because I have not had a chance to play the beta. I did manage to get me a beta code for the Xbox, which was awesome, but I never got around to playing it because work commitments and such. So yeah, it's kind of hard to balance out finding time for your video games and still going to Mahi. But that's okay because I can still play this game when it comes out because it's not that far behind. I am very, very excited. So I'm immediately going to go for Zangief and Marissa. Especially Marissa because... mama. Oh yeah, and speaking of... that is one aspect that Capcom has been fully taken advantage of by using the Resident Evil engine. Not only does it allow them to develop rollback netcode on a system they are familiar with, but it also allows them to just go crazy with the characters' designs. Not just their aesthetics with their costumes, but also with the actual characters themselves. Muscle tension and just the way their bodies move is just, let's just say it really grabs your attention. Anyway, these developer showcase matches are very fun to watch, in more ways than one, because of how well it shows off the game and the gameplay perfectly. Now, a lot of what we see in the gameplay isn't really true to what you would see in a real match, but at the same time, it is a showcase, where they want to show off the game, and more importantly, what the characters can do. And that right there makes me wish that Street Fighter 6 would just come out right now. Another game I wish would come out right now is this one. So let's get the obvious out of the way first. Yes, this game right here is the best looking fighting game we have seen thus far. Even though the footage you are looking at is only 720p 60 frames per second, it's very clear to see that the leap in quality with its presentation is far above what we have seen for Tekken 7 as well as the other games I have just shown. And there are two significant reasons for that. The first one being, well yes, this game is using the new Unreal Engine 5, and second, this is the only fighting game that is a true next-gen fighting game. So unlike the previous ones where you can get on PS4 and PS5, this one is just for next generation consoles, so PS5, Series X, and PC. Granted, of course, your PCs have to be pretty freaking powerful, but yes, visual quality, chef's kiss, magnifique. So while the visual quality of the game does speak for itself, one of the things that we do have to talk about is the fact that this game wears its identity on its sleeve. Literally, Lars has a number 8 on his sleeve. And the main reason for that is that it was the main contributing factor to the whole rework of this game. Not just due to its legacy and they wanting to do something different, but also because it really does change the game. The 8 being an infinity symbol, giving the number of this game a double meaning, has led to a whole lot of new reworks and changes involving the overall system and its characters. And so far, this is making it look like the most fun and interesting Tekken we have gotten in a very long time. Even down to certain things from Tekken 7 also getting reworked. Obviously, you can tell that the rage drive is now gone in favor of the new heat system, where characters have a heat smash. almost like a super move that uses up their entire heat gauge, which is the new bar that is underneath the health bar for the characters. Almost similar to Dead or Alive 6 with its Fatal Rush system. And when I say it's pretty similar, I mean that purely on a visual level, the way it looks. Because the way it actually functions is dramatically different. And it also dramatically changes the game. And it also makes the games go by within what feels like a blink of an eye. Seriously, characters do so much damage in this game, even outside of using the heat system. Because the general system changes and general balancing, the characters seem really powerful right now. And believe me, that is not a complaint. Not a complaint at all. Because obviously they are going to get balanced later down the line. But it's just really cool to see them all in action because bloody hell, I have seen these matches so many frickin' times. Because this game is just that fun to look at, and I can only imagine how much more fun it is to play. I am so fucking jealous. Sorry. But yes, the things that are different from the previous Tekken game, they mainly revolve around the main focus of this game, which is aggression. Which is why the heat system is in the game in the first place. Not only does it encourage you to be aggressive, but it also encourages a lot of different approaches. From the footage we have seen so far, and again, much like Street Fighter 6, a lot of what they do is just experimenting and showing off what the characters can do. But that's a good thing because that is again the entire point of the heat system. It's highlighting the best aspects of the character, which is why you see the characters have these new type of gimmicks now. Like with Kazuya, you no longer have to have rage to activate his devil like in Tekken 7. His devil is now a part of his heat system, so when he activates the heat system, he transforms into devil. And funny enough, they also added elements of Super Smash Bros. To this. With certain attacks that Kazuya does outside of his heat system, like in his general game plan, he will actually briefly transform into Devil, which I thought is really freaking awesome because it shows that he is a lot more in control of it, despite the fact that he seemed already in control of it in Tekken 7. But now it is just making him look insane, and I find that incredible. And you've got King, where it really powers up his armor and, you know, makes his throws even more deadly. Jack summoning a big fucking gun. Seriously, that proton cannon. That I'm just gonna call it that. He summons the proton cannon because it's pretty obvious what it is. And then you've got Lars, being a freaking Hokage. Again, I can't refer to it like anything else because it's pretty obvious. Like, again, wearing his influence on his sleeve. I like that. Paul being the man who kills you in one punch. Literally. Seriously, he does 3 Death Fists in a row now. Activate heat, Death Fist, dash cancel, Death Fist, dash cancel. Oh man, again, so many infinite possibilities. And that's on top of like the new flip bound, heat bound, the way characters can continue their offense. Whew, again, I just want to get my hands on this game. And oh yes, and I do have to bring this up because this is actually my favorite aspect of it all. I do love with these new classic intros. I see what you're doing there, Bandai Namco, the Tekken team. Thank you for incorporating Jack's old win animation into an intro pose. I love that. You are winning me over more and more by the second. I love it. Another thing I love is that Tekken seems to be taking influence from its younger sibling, Soul Calibur 6, because now it seems like almost every character is going to have a unique KO animation when they finish the round with a rage art. Very similar to what Tekken 7 also did with the characters Ganryu and guest character Negan. yeah, and while we're on the subject of super moves and visual presentation, jeez la frickin' Louise, Ling, Xiao Yu, and Manon. These Sheilas can frickin' move. And with that, I'm finally gonna bring this video to an end because I have rambled for way too frickin' long. Seriously, my head hurts. Fighting games, I love you, but oh, you're a pain. Oh, I love you, but so much pain. But we put up with it because it's what we do. We can't help but love it. Anyway, thank you to all of you who took the time to listen to this, or just thought I sounded stupid and just wanted to see how bad this would get. To make it funner. Right, well, I'm gonna leave it there. Again, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to, let me know what your favorite bit of fighting game news was, or what you're looking forward to that has not come to my attention yet, because chances are I would have missed something, and if I have, please let me know, because I would love for someone else to do the work for me and let me know, because oh man, covering all of this was tough. I gotta tell you, finding the time to go over all of this while also working 2 jobs, it's quite time consuming, and it can definitely take a lot out of you. So yes, before I ramble on any further and get myself lost in my own damn stupidity, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, whānau. Ka kite.
Excepto Jason.